Hey everyone, ever wish you could just hit play and absorb all the info from like a really dense document?
Oh, yeah.
That's what we're diving into today. An AI tool that's kind of blurring the lines between reading and listening, Google's Notebook LM. And from what we've been reading, it's already generating some buzz, so to speak.
Yeah, it's really interesting, actually.
Just fill us in.
Basically, imagine taking a bunch of documents, maybe up to like 50
Right.
research papers, articles, even YouTube videos,
Wow.
and having AI not just summarize them,
Right.
but actually turn them into, get this, a podcast.
Whoa. So I could take that stack of reports on my desk and have it turned into a conversation with two AI hosts.
Basically, yeah.
Sign me up. But seriously, one of the things that really struck me was how Notebook LM goes beyond just like spitting out the facts.
Right.
It can actually bring in personal anecdotes.
Yeah, like that's one of the really interesting things they're doing.
There was an example where the AI host talked about that feeling you get when you see an ad for something you were just thinking about.
Yeah, and it used that to talk about like data collection.
Exactly.
And kind of the intrusiveness of it, which I thought was a really clever way to make it relevant.
It makes it hit home.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so it's not just, here's what your document says. It's more like you're having a conversation about the info.
Yeah, exactly.
So
It's like a back and forth, Like you're actually having a dialogue with your notes.
That's wild.
The articles talked about how Notebook LM can actually answer your questions about the documents, too.
Really?
Almost like you're talking to a chatbot.
That's amazing.
So you can ask it to clarify something, or you can say, hey, tell me more about this particular point, and it'll actually pull from the documents and give you more detailed information.
That opens up so many possibilities for research or even just for, everyday learning.
Yeah.
I read about people using it to create like these history of mysteries podcasts just from Wikipedia pages.
Oh, yeah, I saw that too. That's crazy.
Imagine that. You could make a podcast about anything.
And it's not just limited to education either.
Right. What else are people using it for?
Well, I saw this really interesting example where someone used it to create AI-generated career pep talks.
Wait, what?
Yeah, based on their resume.
So you're telling me this AI could give me a pep talk about my work experience that's both amazing and a little creepy.
It's definitely a future is now kind of thing.
For sure.
But speaking of creepy, one of the articles mentioned this instance where the AI host had an existential crisis.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, it started freaking out because it realized it wasn't actually human.
You're kidding.
It was kind of this weird meta moment.
No way.
I know, right? It just goes to show how realistic these AI voices can be.
That's incredible, but also kind of scary.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so we've got these incredibly realistic AI voices that can summarize information, answer questions, even have existential crises.
It does make you wonder.
Yeah.
How much can we actually trust this technology?
That's a good question.
I mean, it's one thing to have it tell you fun facts or whatever, but when it comes to accurately representing information, especially about complex topics,
Right.
that's a whole other ball game.
I see what you mean.
Yeah. And especially when you start thinking about stuff that's not so clear cut, like nuanced topics.
Right, like that journalist who used Notebook LM on Facebook's privacy policy.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
It was interesting because it wasn't just that the AI seemed to pick up on how kind of ironic the whole thing is.
Right.
It also missed some pretty important points.
Exactly. And that's kind of what makes me a little wary.
Yeah.
It shows how just relying on AI for this kind of thing could be,
Misleading.
Yeah, exactly.
It could probably tell you what the document says, but
Right, it's not really understanding it.
it's not getting the nuances, the bigger picture.
And that's where you need a human, someone who can...
Think critically about it.
Yeah, for sure.
Which I guess leads to a bigger question here.
Oh, it is.
When it comes to AI and learning, is this technology actually helping us engage more deeply with information?
Or is it making us lazy?
Exactly.
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It feels like it.
And, I mean, the articles definitely brought up some good points on both sides.